Hi YouTube and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a book haul, but it's going to be a bit different because it's going to be a Kindle book haul. So I have bought quite a few Kindle books recently. I've been browsing the sales and I tend not to buy books over like £2 on the Kindle just because they tend to be impulse buys, and I like to rein it in a little bit because it's not like a physical thing that I'm buying. I could literally buy so many. I could buy so many and not realise how much I've spent. So I do tend to kind of limit my purchasing to anything like £2 to £3 maximum, because then I can buy more things. Yeah, I'm going to go through all of the books that I have recently purchased on my Kindle. If you do like this video, please like and comment down below. Hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more of my content. I try to upload weekly, but it is what it is. Yeah, and let's just get into it. Okay, so I've got my iPad here to look at the Kindle books just because it's a bit more aesthetically pleasing than actually holding my Kindle up that's black and white. Go figure. So yeah, these are all the books that I've bought recently. It just keeps going. Yeah, it's been a bad week for my bank account. Is what it is. So we'll just start off with books that I am currently reading now anyway, just because I really want to read it. And it is Home Before Dark by Saga. This is a classic haunted house book, and they are some of my favourites. If you are new to my channel, I probably read around 20 ghost books a year. Haunted house, hauntings, possessions, anything like that, I am all over it. Darcy Coates is my favourite author, and that is the majority of what she writes is haunted house stories. I love them. I don't know why, I just really love them. So when this book was kind of doing the rounds on Book Talk, I had to get it. And I got it for 99p on the Kindle store. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm 36% of the way through currently. It's a little bit different, this one, to other kind of ghost haunted house stories that I've read, in that it has two timelines. It has the timeline of the main character protagonist when she was a 5-year-old girl in the house, and then again when she's like mid-20s, 30s, I'm not actually sure of her exact age, or where she goes back to the house after her father has died and passed on the house to her in his will. I'm really enjoying it. I like the dynamic between, like, each chapter flicks back between the past and the present, and I really enjoy that. It gives like a different perspective to the haunted house. I'm really enjoying it, because normally you just have like the one timeline and it's spooky, but it's good to kind of get like both perspectives. It works really well. It also just gives you like a sense of how old the house is, because like 30 years ago all the same things that were old then are still in the house now while she's there in the present tense, and it's really good. It's making it a lot spookier. I quite like it. So yes, that is Home Before Dark by Saga. Really enjoying that so far. I then got The Bridge Kingdom. This is by Danielle, Jensen. This has been doing the rounds on Book Talk. I originally thought it was a duology. I saw an Instagram post of the author who said that she's currently working on the 3rd book, and I was like, drats, I don't like starting books when not, or like a series when all of them aren't out yet. It's a thing. We'll move on. I did read the 1st chapter because I didn't realise that another book was being written, so I stopped reading it after, I think I got to chapter 3, and I stopped reading because I'm weird. And it was action-packed right from the very 1st chapter. Like in the 1st chapter I was like, damn, like ruthless. The main character in this is ruthless. So yeah, I was really enjoying it, but I'm gonna come back to it. So yeah, I got The Bridge Kingdom. Again, I think that was like £1.99 or something. Then I got the Paris Library. This is by Skeslien Charles. Janet Charles. It's by Janet Charles. It's basically based around Paris in World War II. I want to say World War II. Paris 1939. Yeah, it's about a woman who is obsessed with books and her new job at an American library in Paris during 1939 when the Nazis invade Paris. Historical fiction there, which I don't normally go for, but it sounded really interesting, and again it was on the 99p deal, so that's another good thing. like being cheap, you find new books that you wouldn't normally go for because it's on deals and you're like, oh, actually sounds really interesting, you know? So I got that. Moving on. I then got Blindsighted by Karin Slaughter. Again, this was 99p, which I'm here for. I'm starting to read more Karin Slaughter books. I'm trying to get into thrillers because I really don't read a lot of thrillers. It's the one genre that I kind of don't really branch out into very much. But I recently listened to an ARC version of False Witness, which is Karin Slaughter's new book, and I gave that 5 stars. That was fantastic. That was, for a girl who doesn't read thrillers as well, that was incredible. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I got Blindsighted, which I'm pretty sure is like the first in one of her series. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading that. But I think I'm gonna leave it a little bit of time before I read another thriller. I'm just very much in the mood for a high fantasy at the minute, which is why I started The Priory of the Orange Tree, which I'm really enjoying, but I'm only like 80 pages in, so I'm like just 10% of the way through. I then got Black Rabbit Hall. This is by Eve Chase, and the synopsis for this sounded really intriguing, and I hadn't heard of this previously until I saw it on the kind of Kindle deals. So it says, the hours pass differently at Black Rabbit Hall. For the 4 Alton children, it's the perfect summer escape where not much ever happens until one stormy evening something does, and their idyllic world is shattered. Decades later, Lorna is drawn to a beautiful yet crumbling old house she hazily remembers from childhood. Feels a bond she does not understand, but a disturbing message left by one of the Alton children tells her that Black Rabbit Hall history is as dark and tangled as its woods. And much like her own past, it must be brought into the light. A spellbinding story of 2 women separated by decades, but inextricably linked by their connection to the beautiful and mysterious Black Rabbit Hall. So it kind of sounds like a thriller, horror, historical fiction vibe I'm getting, kind of like a mystery as well. I love books like this. I love books that are set in kind of big great halls or like large spooky gothic style houses, mansions. Like, it gives that eerie spooky vibe and I'm here for it. So yeah, when I saw that I immediately snapped that one up. It sounded fantastic. I then got The Sin Eater, and this is by Megan Campisi. So, set in a thinly disguised 16th century England, Megan Campisi's The Sin Eater is a wonderfully rich story of treason and treachery, of women of power and the strange freedom that comes from being an outcast, because sometimes being a nobody sometimes counts for everything. Recently orphaned May Owens is just 14, only concerned with where her next meal is coming from when she's arrested for stealing a loaf of bread, however, and subsequently sentenced to becoming a sin eater. Finding food is suddenly the last of her worries. A sin eater's duty is a necessary evil. She hears the confessions of the dying, eats their sins as a funeral rite. Stained by these sins, she is shunned and silenced, doomed to live in exile at the edge of town. Yeah, that sounds really fantastic. Historical fiction. Ooh, I just read the next paragraph. May's new invisibility opens new doors, and when first 1 then 2 of the Queen's courtiers suddenly grow ill, May hears their deathbed confessions and begins to investigate a terrible rumour that is only whispered of amid palace corridors. So it sounds like a really sneaky mystery around a young girl who literally hears confessions for a living. That sounds really good. So yeah, again, that was one of the 99p purchases. I was really excited about that. I then treated myself. These 2 were, I think they were about £3 each, and it is a duology. It's a YA fantasy duology. Let me just pull the cover up. It is The Wrath and the Dawn by Renée Ahdieh. I've heard incredible things about this on BookTok, and I really fancy treating myself to something that I actually knew previous to looking through the Kindle App Store. So yes, I got The Wrath and the Dawn. I then got the second in the duology, which is The Rose and the Dagger, which, can we just appreciate the covers? They are like incredible. This is a YA fantasy series that I've heard incredible things about, and I'm really looking forward to reading them. And then I got another duology, which was The Queen's Rising and The Queen's Resistance. These are by Rebecca Ross. I'm really looking forward to these as well. It's another high fantasy. It's even got a map. I'm here for it. Oh, it's got 2 maps. Oh, and it's got a cast of characters. We love that. Oh my gosh, it's got a freaking family tree. Are you kidding? That's so handy. I love that. I wish all high fantasy, like epic fantasies, came with maps and family trees, and also like the cast of characters, like lists of all the characters. That's so handy. Honestly, all books should do that. Even not just high fantasy books, all books should do that. So quickly I will read the synopsis. So, born out of wedlock, Brianna is cast off by her noble family and sent to Magnolia House, a boarding house for those looking to study the passions: art, music, dramatics, wit and knowledge. Brianna must discover her passion and train hard to perfect her skill in the hope that she will one day graduate and be chosen by a wealthy patron looking to support one of the impassioned. As Brianna gets closer to the eve of her graduation, she also grows closer to her smart and handsome tutor, Cartier. Cartier. He can sense that she is hiding a secret, but Brianna chooses not to reveal that she is experiencing memories of her ancestors. Memories uncovering the mysteries of the past that may have dangerous consequences in the present. A daring plot is brewing to overthrow the usurper king and restore the rightful monarchy, and Brianna's memories hold the key to its success. Cartier desperately wants to help Brianna, but she must choose her friends wisely, keep her enemies close, and trust no one if she is to save herself and her people. That wasn't actually what I was expecting it was going to be about, and I kind of really like it. I really like the sound of that. It's like not high, it is a high fantasy, but kind of not. It's based in and around a school. I really enjoy that. That sounds really good. It's definitely not what I thought it was going to be about though when I like saw the book. Which is why you should never judge a book by its cover, but I do that all the time, so I can't, you know, do as I say, not as I do. But that sounds really interesting. I'm really looking forward to reading both of those. I'm pretty sure it is a duology, although I hope it's not like the British Kingdom and I find out that it's actually not and I was just wrong. I then got The Kingdom of the Wicked. This is a new series and it is by Kerri Maniscalco. It's by Kerri Maniscalco. The cover is stunning. Look at that with the skull and the snake. Like, sounds amazing. This was 99p on the Kindle store and a lot of people love this book on Book Talk. So I posted a post about it and loads of people went and bought it and I was really happy to like share the knowledge, you know. Yeah, I was surprised. I was really surprised it was only 99p on the bookstore because this is a very popular book on Book Talk. From the synopsis, it sounds amazing. It's about witches, two twin sisters. Are they twins? Yeah, two twin sisters, two twin witchy sisters, and one of them goes missing and is, and I quote, desecrated beyond belief, which just sounds like a fun time. Devastated, Amelia sets out to find her sister's killer and seek vengeance at any cost, even if it means using dark magic that's been long forbidden. This sounds amazing. Then Amelia meets Wrath, one of the wicked princes of hell she's been warned against in tales since she was a child. Wrath claims to be on Amelia's side, tasked by his master with solving the series of women's murders on the island. But when it comes to the wicked, nothing is as it seems. That sounds good. Enemies to lovers romance, magics, witches, dark powers, mystery. Yes, I'm here for it. It is part of a series though, so me being the weirdo that I am, I'm gonna have to hold off reading that. Because I am a very strange person. Oh my god, I got so many books. I feel like this video might be really long, I apologise. This book now, I really wanted to, I almost got it at Waterstones because it was on the buy one get one half price. But I ended up not getting it. I really regretted it. I like really wanted to read it and then I saw that it was 99p on the Kindle store and I snapped it up. So it is The Court of Miracles and it is by Kester Grant. Yeah, it is another beautiful cover. I'm super excited about reading this. As I said, I almost got it as a paperback book, but I ended up getting a different book and I really regret not getting it. You know, it's like one of those like the book that got away. I don't know what I'm talking about. It is about the Court of Miracles, go figure. So it is based around the French Revolution of 1828 or just after it has failed. Paris is in mourning and basically the city has evolved into these guilds of assassins, thieves, even worse, then they have created the Court of Miracles, and someone's sister is then sold into the Guild of Flesh, which that could be one of two things, and I'm hoping, I don't know, I wouldn't want it to be either, to be honest. Basically the person's sister tries to save her from the Guild of Flesh, but it just sounds really kind of gritty and dark, and I'm just here for it. So that sounds really good, and I really am glad that I managed to get a hold of it, especially for so cheap. I was going to pay £7 for it and I got it for 99p. Oh, I got another trilogy, and it is the Vine Witch trilogy by Luanne G. Smith, and the covers are beautiful. So that's the first one, the Vine Witch. So there's the Vine Witch, the Glamourist, and the Conjurer. I think that's the right order, I'm not quite sure. I know the Vine Witch is definitely the first book. So let me just quickly read the synopsis for you. Again, it's about witches. I love anything to do with witches. I'm here for it. A young witch emerges from a curse to find her world upended in this gripping fantasy set in turn-of-the-century France. Is this like the third turn-of-the-century France book I've got? I think I've got a lot of historical fiction set in France here, and it wasn't intentional, I assure you, but I'm here for it. For centuries, the vineyards at Chateau Renard have depended on the talent of their vine witches, whose spells help create the world-renowned wine of the Shanxiu Valley. Then the skill of divining harvests fell into ruin when sorcier Eleanor Barano was blindsided by a curse. Now, after breaking the spell that confined her to the shallows of a marshland and weakened her magic, Eleanor is struggling to return to her former life, and the vineyard she was destined to inherit is now in the possession of a handsome stranger. Yeah, it just sounds like an all-round good time. Historical fiction fantasy. Historical fantasy. That's the thing, right? So I got that. I'm really, again, looking forward to it. I then got another surprise fantasy. Go figure. I got Blood Heir, which, look at that cover. I know you can't see it very well, but this is the first in a YA fantasy trilogy. It came out in 2019, and it is about princes, princesses, brutal murder. Here for it. So it is based around a princess, and her father is brutally murdered, and she is essentially accused of his murder, so she has to go out and try and find the killer to basically prove her innocence in the murder and the crime. And there is only one person who is willing to go on this venture with her, and it is literally the lord of an underworld. The lord of this cerulean underworld called Ramson Quicktongue. He is a cunning, silver-tongued crime lord. I'm really, really into this. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, that is just like a snippet of all of the Kindle books I got. I literally, there's so many more. I also got a lot of the classic books because they tend to be like free, a lot of them. So I got like Forsyte Saga, Tennant of Wildfell Hall, Cranford, The Lost World, Treasure Island, Dracula by Bram Stoker, The Canterville Ghost by Oscar Wilde, Emma by Jane Austen, Far from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy. There's literally so many. If you just search on Kindle for classics, you can get so many of them for free. So yeah, I got loads of them and I'm super excited about it. Those are all of the books that I have recently purchased on my Kindle. Only read like half of one. Because I like buying books more than I like reading them. It is what it is. So yes, I sincerely hope that you enjoyed this video. I've never done a Kindle book haul before, so if you enjoyed this video, please let me know, because I obviously will buy more books on the Kindle. You don't have to give me an excuse, but I'll go out and find like good deals for you guys, and you know, read other Kindle books out there. So yes, if you did enjoy this video, please let me know. Like, hit the blah, blah, blah. What do you do? You hit the notification bell. That's what you need to hit. It's been a long day. Hit the notification bell if you would like to see more of my content. I post weekly, sometimes. And yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will hopefully see you all lovely people in the next one. Alright, bye guys.